All right.
I take over Chicago and Paris, France. All right.
You know, ladies and
I
gentlemen,
did not
welcome back
realize.
to the second ever episode of Call It in the Ring. I am Chris. I am joined today again with Mike, and
What's going on, people? Welcome back.
we're gonna run down our reactions for this 5-match card, arguably the best match of the weekend in Chicago. Figure this shit the fuck out. So first off, we're gonna start strong. We have the Undisputed Era versus Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Personally, I thought this was an amazing match. Started out really strong. Oni Lorcan doesn't know how to fucking hit with a soft bone in his body. He's just trying to break people's fucking arms and legs out here. Has no care for human life. He's abusing himself, getting thrown on the ring apron and shit. But it was a great match. I actually love what Undisputed Era brings to the ring. Kyle O'Reilly has amazing character work. And, Danny Burch, definitely is not a slouch either. Personally, I'd give this match an easy 4 out of 5 stars. And can't forget Adam Cole. Adam Cole was a huge difference maker in the last end of their match.
Can we quickly talk about how great Adam Cole is? Like, he breaks up the pin at one point in this match, and then he's just yelling with such conviction. I didn't do anything. What are you talking about? I didn't do anything. Like, come on, guy. But he's incredible.
He's easily. It makes perfect sense as to why this man has the office behind him. If there were ever a man to get a push that also benefited from the office just loving his work, it's Adam Cole. And the crowd's down for it. This is an amazing thing. I hope that he stays in NXT for 3 years like he's planning.
It was incredible. Undisputed Era is the heels in this situation, and they got probably the loudest pop of the night. Burch and Lorcan are the faces,
and the
crowd was kind of booing them to begin the match. I mean, as the match went on,
the crowd
started to come around to them. Because, like you said, Oni Lorcan is a fucking psychopath, and he's like, slapping people like they owe him money out here. But yeah, like you said, it was a great match. It started off kind of slow, but it picked up pace relatively quickly. And, it was a great match.
What would you personally give it out of 5 stars though?
Out of 5 stars, I think your assessment of it of 4 is good. If it hadn't been for the fact that we've seen other matches and other tag matches in NXT with these guys right here, DIY, The Revival, Authors of Pain, that were just off the charts, I would probably give it a 5. But despite how good this match was, it didn't reach the standards of those other tag matches that we've seen before.
Yeah, I thought 4 was a good place to start. It's a safe ratio. Match is solid. Yeah. I mean, granted, it doesn't leave much room for fucking error because, we have the next match on the card, which is even far. I wouldn't say it's far superior, but it's definitely better than the opening match, which I'm moving to now. Sure. That was the Velveteen Dream, or Hogan Dream, whatever the fuck you like to call him.
Puma Hogan Dream.
Yeah, Tecton Puma tights versus the man he stole the tights from, King Ricochet. This match was kind of, I don't know how to say it. It arguably ended up becoming its own mini dream match of sorts. They had the whole allusion to Hogan and Rock at the beginning. Dream comes down dressed up as Hogan. Ricochet comes down with his hand up in the air like The Rock. They kind of pace back and forth. I didn't actually realize it at first, and then I listened to Alvarez, and he actually brought up the reference. If you actually go back and watch the first minute or so, is a WrestleMania 18 reference, and it's cool.
It makes sense to me, especially if you've seen The Rock on Twitter has gone out of his way to praise Ricochet.
Of course,
it makes sense.
Now, all things considered, there's always gonna be controversy involving Hulk Hogan's name, but the one thing that I can at least appreciate is the fact that, the crowd saw it for what it was, didn't really shit on it, and I gotta give props to Velveteen for at least going out there, making a huge effort. The match itself was amazing quality. It started out really fucking hot, and it just never stopped. It was just a huge fucking beatdown, nothing but high spots.
And speaking of Hogan, I didn't watch the season of Tough Enough that Dream was on, Patrick Clark. But I did see a clip that was posted on YouTube where Hogan is telling, Patrick Clark. And I want to see more out of you. I want to see more of a character, and not just seeing Patrick Clark. So it definitely makes sense that he would dress up as Hogan now that he has this incredible character. He does amazing work on a regular basis.
What would you give it out of a 5-star rating, however?
The first match set the bar pretty high for this show. It was a really good match. There was some little botchy stuff here and there, but that's to be expected when you have Ricochet, who is a human acrobat, and even Dream, who's super athletic. So I would rate it higher than the first match. I'd probably go 4.5. I wouldn't give it a 5 to say it's a perfect match, but it was really good. Dream going for the Purple Rainmaker coast to coast was incredible, even though he missed it. And Ricochet, proves that people can fly. So yeah, 4.5.
He's the man that gravity remembers sometimes, I guess, because can't put Neville out here.
Gosh, I miss Neville.
Yeah, everybody misses Neville.
So much.
I actually personally would give it a 4.25 out of 5. I definitely agree with the sentiment that it's not 5-star caliber. There were a few botch spots there. Also, I think that the storyline, NXT is very story driven, and obviously, even though they have like great work ethic and all that, I do feel that was a big deterrent towards their match getting a higher rating, in my opinion, just because the storyline wasn't that fleshed out as it could have been. It was literally just more like, oh, who's the better man? That's all their feud really was.
Yeah, I mean, basically the build was Velveteen Dream saying anything Ricochet can do, I can do better.
I still want to see a Velveteen Dream 630 senton, just saying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
From that, we're going to move on to the NXT Women's Championship match between Shayna Baszler and Nikki Cross. Me personally, I felt that this match was it was a very solid match. I wouldn't say it's the weakest match of the night because it was still a strong match, but I'd say arguably was not the best match by far. The pacing was a little bit too slow for me. I didn't like the fact that Shayna Baszler basically just relied on her finish for like the whole match. Kind of took away from a lot for me. I do love Nikki Cross's character work. I think she's an amazing wrestler. When given the right time, the right like circumstances, she like really brings everything and just puts it on the table. I respect a lot out of her, and I don't know. It's just all things considered, I understand why she lost this match. She had to lose this match, all things considered, because Sanity needs to come up, and I don't think they're going to do it without her.
Yeah, let's hope that she's actually part of Sanity. I think that was the big concern when they got brought up in the Superstar Shakeup, is that graphic popped up and there's no Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were really concerned about that.
But what's your personal take on the match? How do you feel about what we saw?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with you. It was, I hate to call the match weak, but it was the weakest match of the night. And that has a lot to do with the fact that Shayna Baszler is green. And granted, she's progressed a lot in a short amount of time.
Of course.
But she's still green, and that was kind of my concern with putting the title on her to begin with. Because you're going from Ember Moon, who's this really polished champion, to Shayna Baszler, who definitely needs work, and I think it would have benefited her to maybe not get the belt so soon. All in all, it was an okay match. There was some botchy spots there. But like I said, Shayna's kind of green. I will say I did like the finish. It was very reminiscent of Stone Cold and Bret Hart from WrestleMania 13, where Nikki Cross passes out from the pain. She never taps out, and she has a smile on her face right before she passes out. I think that was great character work for her. And it really, it kept her strong even though she got choked out. And hopefully that momentum carries her forward onto the main roster where she gets into that women's title mix going forward.
I think that one spot was her farewell spot, honestly. The way she passed out. I think
sure.
that was like a big like storyline send off for her.
It definitely makes sense.
Now, personally, I give this match a 3.5 stars out of 5. I stand by the statement that the match itself was a very solid match. I couldn't see myself giving it below 3 stars. I still think even though it was slow, character work really did play a part in this match. Nikki Cross really helped bring this match, back above water, kind of give it its own legs, so it didn't kind of fail as a match. And granted, NXT has a lot of high work ethic, spots that, come as a result of these wrestlers putting a lot of time and effort in. And, like I said before, not every match can be the perfect match. And
Sure.
I still appreciate this for what it was. So I'm going to give it 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would have given it 3, but I do think that finish with Nikki Cross and the character work from her passing out in the choke definitely elevated the match a little bit for me. So I would go with 3.5 stars as well.
All right, and then the next match we have on the card is the penultimate match. It was Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan for the NXT Championship. Aleister Black, in good faith, happened to win this match. It was the right decision in my personal opinion. Obviously, I'm personally not a fan of Lars Sullivan. But I will make the case that, this was definitely Lars Sullivan's best match so far in NXT.
Yeah, it absolutely was. It absolutely was his best match. Prior to this, we kind of just see him squashing people and, hitting his finish on people relatively quickly. And there wasn't really much of a story in any of the previous matches we've seen with him. So I don't want to say Aleister Black carried him, but, he brought him to a good story for the most part.
I can definitely second that notion. I don't think that it was it was missing anything. The only real issue I had was obviously the issue everybody had, that one botch spot with the black mask.
Black mask.
Yeah, and then the commentary tried to push it off. It wasn't that bad though. Like, we definitely had a worse spot earlier this year with Jinder and Jeff, when Jeff just had just completely misses on a whisper in the wind because Jinder has his back turned and he just sells it anyway. Michael Cole's like, he easily probably caught all of it, and it's like he didn't catch any of it.
Once again, much like Shayna Baszler, Lars Sullivan he's green, and he definitely needs work. So, I won't hold it against him too much, although, he shouldn't have sold for it. I mean, it would have been fine if it just was Aleister Black and Mr. Black Mass by a mile, but, I'll give him a pass on this one because he is still so green, and this is the first time he's working on a relatively big stage.
Oh, sure. I mean, granted, it's not as though he didn't bring a lot to the table for this match either. I honestly was surprised with the increase in his moveset. I felt like he did a lot more than I honestly expected out of him, and for that, even though I'm personally not a fan of his, I'll give him credit where credit's due. He definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to see him in the main event going forward, but
it was still an impressive showing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And if he's paired with the right opponent going forward, and there's a lot of talent in NXT at the moment, so much so that guys like EC3 and Adam Cole weren't wrestling on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a bright future for him in some regards, but I just don't want to see him near that title picture anytime soon.
I think that's fair. Personally, I'm gonna give this match. This is weird because between star ratings, but I'm gonna give it a 3.9 out of 5.
Okay.
It wasn't in my opinion as good as the tag match, but I won't give it a 3.75. I feel like it is a little bit better than that. I'm gonna give it a 3.9.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that rating, 3.75. We started out giving the tag match a 4. And the Shayna Baszler Nikki Cross match at 3.5 for me at least. So it was in the middle there. It wasn't as good as the tag match, but it wasn't as bad as the and I hate to say as bad, but it wasn't as bad, I guess, as the women's title match. So I would probably go 3.75 on that.
All right, and then last match we have on the card is what I personally believe was not just the match of the night, but the 5-star match of the fucking weekend. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. It's definitely a match of the year contender. They had a Chicago street fight match. Due to some unforeseen bad ref spot, Gargano did not get the win. Ciampa tapped out about 4 times. He got put in the Gargano escape while he was in handcuffs, and he just sat there and just tapped out, and there was no ref there to see it. So unfortunately, Ciampa screwed him out of it. He pulled the whole lining out from underneath the ring. He
It's exposed the wood.
yeah, the wooden part of the fucking mat. He pulled up the whole mat, and then to make matters worse, he fucking DDT'd Gargano directly on the to get the pin. So that's always fun.
Yeah, this was a great match. There's so much to talk about in this match. I love the beginning when Johnny runs into Candice LeRae backstage, and this whole feud she's been disapproving of him stooping to Ciampa's level, and she gives him the crutch and says kick his ass. There's the symbolism of there's the part where Johnny Gargano puts Tommaso Ciampa through a table and he's just sitting there staring down at him, which goes back to last TakeOver Chicago after Ciampa put Gargano through a table and just sat there looking at him. But really what ended up costing Johnny this match was he became what he hated. He let his rage get the best of him. He let his anger get the best of him. He could have won the match really by just having Ciampa get gurneyed out of the arena, and instead he let that rage take control of him, and unfortunately it cost him in the long run.
I mean, the man took his wedding ring off, spat on it, and threw it in the crowd.
Yeah.
Gargano's like justified in doing what he did.
Sure, but it ended up costing him long run. Had he,
of course.
Had he not given it to him. But by the way, like, Ciampa's the fucking best heel in wrestling, right? Like,
currently, yeah. I don't think there's a better fucking asshole to hate but respect at the same time.
Like, the problem is in New Japan, WWE, wherever, like, heels are cool and everyone cheers the heels, and this is a guy who gets no cheers.
Like, he's actually a deplorable human being. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's just a fucking scumbag, and he comes out to no entrance music, which I love.
Oh yeah.
It's incredible, and yeah, he's just this fucking awful human being, and the show ends with him smiling and waving goodbye to Gargano again, which is clearly going to set up another rematch at TakeOver Brooklyn 3. I wish it was for the NXT title. I mean, maybe somehow, some way that'll happen.
I mean, you never know.
Now and then. Hey, listen, anything's possible. Ciampa could somehow, get the title of Aleister Black in the next 2 months. But yeah, it was definitely match of the night, match of the year contender for sure, along with their last match.
Oh, definitely. Their last match was just fucking amazing. But I still have like a lack of words to express how I felt about watching that match. The match was amazing. It was structured well. The storytelling was fucking amazing. Gargano is fucking crazy. Ciampa's a fucking just a fucking straight lunatic. And these guys know each other so well, just considering all that they've done. And it shows here. Yeah. It shows so fucking well. I easily give this match 5 stars out of 5.
Yeah, these are two guys, much like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who I could watch wrestle forever because they put on those great matches. And
yeah, their chemistry
going back to that match at the Cruiserweight,
too good.
Yeah, going back to their match at the Cruiserweight Classic, it's just off the charts, and I hope this feud doesn't end anytime soon.
Here's my thing, though. Even though we're gushing over Gargano versus Ciampa, we got to give the pay-per-view as a whole an overall rating.
Well, what would you give this match? I mean, I think it's obvious, but what would you give this match?
Well, I've said like 4 times I'd give this match 5 stars. There's no way I'm giving it less than 5 stars.
Without question. Yeah, it's definitely 5 stars match. Without question.
But for the show as a whole, I'd give it 4.5 stars. The reason why I wouldn't give it a 5 star is obviously the Lars Sullivan Aleister Black match was kind of lacking, and the Shayna Baszler Nikki Cross match, as I said before, was a little slow, a little bit plodding. It kind of showed off Shayna Baszler's weakness as far as her versatility in the ring. She still has a long time to grow, and hopefully she'll actually take time to grow, because I actually like her in-ring work so far. She's not botch heavy. She knows how to pick apart like a body part. She's not the best as far as cutting promos, but she has good ring psychology, and I can respect that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Nikki Cross, obviously, in my opinion, as far as like women on NXT currently right now, she's arguably what you consider like the whole package. She has, great character work. She has great in-ring presence. She has great match psychology. She knows how to tell a story very, very well. I mean, granted, I understand that NXT is the land of practicing until we get this right. And I understand that these wrestlers, you know, put the time in to get that right. And some people see that as a demerit, like, oh, well, you practice the match so many times, of course it's going to be good. And I'm like, what the fuck is the problem with that? That makes the matches so much better. That's why there's a difference in quality between takeovers and main roster shows, because these guys get to sit down and just focus on just this. There's no side feud, no secondary nonsense. It's just like when there's a takeover, every match on the card involves a proper feud. It's not, hey, let's just have this guy fight this guy.
It's long-term booking, yeah.
Yeah, and it works properly.
And that's what the main roster lacks.
Yeah. Whether it's due to like a hyper intense schedule or just a lack of proper, you know, I guess delegation from creative, the main roster just suffers from not as much time to work on getting their resources to peak, like, you know, standing.
Right, for sure.
But I definitely give NXT Takeover Chicago 4.5 stars out of 5. As you've agreed with this, guys, we're gonna wrap this up here. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw here today. Please comment down below with your personal opinion on what you felt about the 5 matches given for us at Takeover Chicago tonight. Please, if you can, also follow us in the links below on our Twitter.
Yes.
At Call It in the Ring and at Afro Gamer.
Absolutely.
We're going to be bringing out a lot more content for you guys. Stay tuned. We're going to be having a Money in the Bank 2018 from Allstate Arena review coming up next. And, you know, keep it tight.
Yeah. Daddy says keep it tight.
Daddy says keep it tight. Shout outs, Big Wool.